Okay, YouTube friends and North Georgia GMRS members everywhere. Let's see. Man, when I look at that, all I see is this light in my face. Alright, but I guess that's what we get. Alright, so we are just about to kick this thing into gear. We have less than a minute. So you don't have to waste a lot of time hanging out with me. Stick around. We've got lots of stuff to talk about this evening. The lighting is a little bit weird in here, and that's because the curtains are open. I think once it gets dark outside, the lighting will improve. Yeah. So lots of stuff going on, and we're not going to cover all of it, but we're going to cover some of it. And holy cow, we got 32 early bird check-ins. So that's pretty cool. Check-in should go pretty quick because I think just about everybody's already in here. Let's see, where is... Yeah, let me fix this one here while I'm thinking about it. And that'll make me late to start. Oh no, here we go. Let's see, here's my script, and it is time, so let's kick this thing into gear. Good evening, and welcome to the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. I'll be working off of the flagship 675 machine this evening, and we are linked in with the following repeaters: Lookout Mountain, Pine Log, Somerville, Jersey, McDonough, Noonan, Columbus, Zebulon, Crawford, Moreland, and the Zello VoIP server. Tonight, our RF coverage is approximately 31,000 square miles, but due to the advent of the digital age, we are worldwide. This net takes place every Thursday evening at 7:30 p.m. I'd like to thank everyone who has made the North Georgia GMRS the most expansive and active GMRS network in the country. Your net control tonight is Atlanta 946, WQIR 514. My name is Justin, and I'm located at Studio B here in Woodstock, Georgia. On the net, you can talk about your day's activities, radio equipment, or anything you think we'd like to hear. This is a family-based network, so we encourage you to get your family involved. Once the floor is open, it is permissible to address other members of the net by their name or tactical unit number. Your FCC call sign is only required when you sign in and sign out of the net. When signing in, please speak slowly and clearly as you give your call sign, your tactical unit number, your name, and your location. Let me break. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge the early bird check-ins. This is something that's a little bit out of the ordinary for us to do, but the early bird check-ins are relatively new, and I want to go ahead and make sure we get all of those accounted for before we take our regular check-in. So we'll start off right away with Atlanta 180 Mike in Cherry Log. We also have Atlanta 83 Pete in Dahlonega. We have Atlanta 228 McCoy in Cedartown. We have Atlanta 106. I'm sorry, McCoy is in and out with us this evening. Thank you, McCoy, for checking in. It's great to hear from you. We have Atlanta 106 Mark in Dallas is also in and out with us this evening. We have Atlanta 583 Julie in Talking Rock, who is in and out with us this evening. Excuse me, let me break. We have Atlanta 555 Dave in Marietta. And we have Atlanta 516 Ray in Canton. We also have Atlanta 420 William in Roswell. We have McDonough 22 Tim in Stockbridge. We have Atlanta 253 Donald in Blairsville. We have Atlanta 402 Todd in Cumming. Todd is in and out with us this evening. Thank you, Todd, for checking in. Appreciate that. We have Atlanta 417 William in Auburn. We have Atlanta 295 Scott in Dallas checking in and out with us tonight. Hope you have a great date night tonight, Scott. We have Atlanta 285 and Atlanta 286 CV, and Lynn from Murrayville, both checking in and out with us this evening. It's great to hear from you, CV and Lynn. Thank you for that. We have Atlanta 739 Glenn in Canton. We have Atlanta 401 Dave, also in Canton. We have Atlanta 252 Shad in Emerson. And we have Atlanta 32 Chris in Salt Lake City, Utah, checking in and out with us tonight. Thank you, Chris. Hope all is well with you out there on the road. We have Atlanta 740 Giselle in Canton. We have Atlanta 312 Cynthia in Emerson. We have Atlanta 503 Paul in Jefferson. Paul is in and out with us this evening. Thank you, Paul, for checking in. It's great to hear from you. We have Chattanooga 84 Jim in Chattanooga. We have Atlanta 780 Houston in Powder Springs. We have Atlanta 550 Steve in Talking Rock. Steve is in and out with us this evening. It's great to hear from you, Steve, and hope all is well with you. We have Atlanta 434 Ron in Cumming. And we have Atlanta 172 Greg in Bremen. Greg is in and out with us this evening. So, Greg, thanks for checking in. It's great to hear from you. Hope all is well. We have Atlanta 538 Rob in Cumming. And we have Atlanta 104 David in Rockmart. David is in and out with us this evening. Thank you, David, for checking in. We have Chattanooga 55 Doug in Chattanooga. He's also in and out with us this evening. Doug, thanks for checking in, and hope that you have a good day at work tomorrow. And we have Atlanta 124. I believe this is Hank, but I think I heard Tank, and I'm not exactly sure which is which, but Atlanta 124 is in Marietta, and thank you for checking in with us this evening. Those are all of the early bird check-ins. It's quite a lot. So with that, Net Control is going to accept VoIP check-ins. Anyone wishing to check in through the VoIP service Zello, please call Net Control now. See what that does. Okay, sorry about that long pause there. Got a little distraction going on here. Looks like we had an interruption in our live stream already. I hope it's back. It looks like it is. So let me go ahead and acknowledge what we have. We have Atlanta 114 Yusuf checking in from Duluth. Thank you, Yusuf, for checking in. It's great to hear from you. I probably didn't spell your name correctly in the log. I'll see if I can correct that here in just a little bit. Atlanta 344 Damon in Murrayville. Damon, I've got you in log as in and out. Appreciate you checking in with us this evening. Hope all is well with you. Next I have Atlanta 292 Derek in Rockmart. Thank you, Derek, for checking in with us this evening. And that brings me next to Atlanta 57 Andrew in Holly Springs. Great to hear from you, Andrew. We'll be checking in with you here in just a little bit. I have Atlanta 948 Gary in Woodstock. Gary is in and out with us this evening. Thank you, Gary, for checking in, and I hope all is well with you. Well, I know what you're up to, so have a good evening and enjoy, and we'll see you tomorrow. Next on my list is Atlanta 138 Robert in Auburn. Robert, I've got you in log as in and out, and I hope that you enjoy band practice and all is well. That will do it for the flagship. Let's go ahead and open up check-ins to any repeater anywhere. And anyone wishing to check in to the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net, please call Net Control now.
WRKN 715, Atlanta 520, Mark and LJ. Noonan 29, Marty and Tyrone on the Noonan machine. Good evening, Justin and the net.
All right, Net Control will acknowledge. Atlanta 520, Mark in LJ. Thanks, Mark, for checking in. It's great to hear from you. Hope the family is well. And Also, we have, looking forward to talking with you here in just a little bit, Mark. We also have Noonan 29 Marty in Tyrone on the Noonan machine. You sound fantastic all the way up here in Woodstock, Marty. And looking forward to talking with you here in a little bit. Any additional check-ins, any repeater anywhere? We'll take a little pause here, and then we'll go ahead and get started.
This is Atlanta 411, WRKT 359, Robert in Flowery Branch. I'll be checking in and out.
C925, Atlanta 242, Josh in Cartersville, checking in and out.
This is David in Duluth, Georgia, WRCV 257, Atlanta 76, checking in and checking out. Have a good evening, everyone.
Okay, Net Control is going to acknowledge Atlanta 411 Robert in Flowery Branch. Great to hear from you this evening, Robert. Looking forward to talking with you here in a little while. And we have Atlanta 242 Josh in Cartersville. Josh, it was great to hear from you. Looking forward to catching up with you here in a bit. And we have Atlanta 76 David in Duluth. David is in and out with us this evening. Thank you, David, for checking into the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. I think we've got a pretty good list here. I've got more than I can even show in the live stream. Sorry about that, folks. We'll figure that out after a bit when we get to it. I think I can move that page in a way that you can see maybe not all, but most. So somebody remind me when we get there. So with that, let's go ahead and kick things into gear. And a couple of things we want to talk about. First and foremost, we have an event this Saturday at 2 p.m. in Austell at a place called Wallace Barbecue. There are a number of posts on the Facebook page with address and information about Wallace Barbecue. You can go to their web page and you can find a menu. It's a very tasty place to enjoy fellowship. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of folks there, and I hope many of you can make it. So Houston has spoken with the restaurant owner this week and confirmed the arrangements. So we're very excited about that. So a couple of things to know: you want to bring your A game, and you want to bring your lucky decoder ring, because we're going to have a couple of games, and I hope that that you all are able to enjoy the games, and most importantly, enjoy the prizes that are going to come with the game. So Atlanta 6-0 will be there, and he's bringing some trinkets and some goodies, and some very interesting prizes. He told me I can't have any, so I'm a little heartbroken about that. But I'm going to show up anyway, and well, we have some trivia questions. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Gary says I can't participate because I wrote some of the trivia questions. So, I guess that's the way it goes. But we'll have that. We'll have a couple of other games. And like I say, we'll have some prizes. And we're also going to have a time with Atlanta 6-0 where we can ask questions and get answers right from him. There's a lot of things coming up this year. There's so much stuff coming up this year in the way of new repeaters and connections and software changes and new ways of linking radios and microwave Ethernet extenders. We've got so much. I just don't know how we're going to get it all done this year. But Gary seems to think that that we can achieve it, and we'll do our best to make that happen. So with that in mind, let me break here for a moment. All right, just wanted to check and see if the radio is catching on fire yet. It's actually cool to the touch, so I think we're good to go. So with that in mind, I'm looking forward to seeing many of you at the gathering there in Austell, hosted by Atlanta 780 Houston and Mona on Saturday at 2 p.m. So that's going on. So there are a number of other things that are going on with the network. I think most of that news is going to come out on Saturday at the gathering. So anybody that's not able to attend, we'll try to get all of you informed in the following net or in the following days or by way of Facebook or all of the above, most likely. So there's that, and then let's see, we have another workday scheduled for the flagship repeater site. So that's exciting stuff. We'll make some more progress. I think. Well, I don't know. I don't know how much we'll get done, but we probably have a couple of visits to make to that location before we're finished with the work that needs to be done there. And then hopefully soon thereafter we'll get the Blue Ridge machine linked into the network. So exciting stuff on the horizon. Let me break again. All right, with that in mind, let's go ahead and move on to tonight's topic, which is basically, and we've kind of gone through this before, but you know, it's something that that I connect with a lot. I listen to a lot of music. I listen to good music. I listen to bad music. I listen to all kinds of music. You know, multiple genres of music. I listen to just about everything but hip hop and rap. I just cannot connect to that. But there are some rap music songs that I do enjoy, but they are few and very far between. That being said, in almost every genre you can find a story. You can find a piece of music that you can connect to or relate to. And if it's not music, maybe it's a movie. There's a line from a movie that you've heard that just resonates with you and sticks with you for a long time after the movie. You know, I think that's true of just about every John Wayne movie I've seen. Holy cow. That's one individual who could deliver a line. John Wayne movies are a masterpiece in and of themselves. They're a different era and a different time, but if you can appreciate them for what they are, I really enjoy many of those. And so that's kind of our topic for the evening: armchair philosophy. Anything that that you would like to offer up as words of wisdom or thoughts or themes for your life or your day or what have you. So with that, let's go ahead and jump right in to Atlanta 180. Mike is our first contestant on from Cherry Log on North Georgia GMRS. Mike, do you have any comments for the net?
You blindsided me. I consider myself an armchair philosopher, but I'm staring at a blank wall right now. My comments for the net is basically what I alluded to last week. The changes to flagship were, at least for me, major impact. I love it. I love the prognosis of having an even better network than we have now. And as far as I'm concerned, it's top of the line. Philosophy, gosh, that's what I'm all about. And right now, all I'm looking at is this bottle of ketchup here on my desk. So I think I'll pass. That'd be fortunate for most of y'all. And listen to everyone else's comment. It was great hearing you tonight. I look forward to hearing from for some more of you later on in the night. Have a good evening. This is Atlanta 180, and I'm turning it back over to net control.
All right, Mike, I understand you're going to pass the catch-up. So, well, if those are your wise words of the evening, then you know that is its own theme, isn't it? And we'll go with that. But Mike, I've got to say, it's great to hear your station sounding so good, and it's great to hear the Armchair Philosophers weeknight Rag Chew that happens most evenings, and you've been a participant of that quite a lot, and very much enjoy listening to the radio when the armchair philosophy Rag Chew goes on during the week. That's great stuff. And yes, so cool stuff. Thank you, Mike, for that. And with that, I'm going to go on to Atlanta 83, Pete in Dahlonega. Pete, it's great to have you on the net. And for those of you that don't know, Pete has been a tremendous help with North Georgia GMRS at the flagship site and other locations. And it's great to finally have Pete on the air with us. So, Pete, do you have any comments for the net? Any armchair philosophy or words of wisdom or quotes that you live by? Clint Eastwood, John Wayne, any of those great performers, or any music that you'd like to quote? All right. I think Pete said he was going to be in and out with us tonight. Now that I'm thinking about it here, I'm fairly certain he said that he was going to be in and out. And I know that Pete is busy with a lot of other activities and ham radio repeaters, and he may even be on a ham net tonight. But thanks, Pete, for checking in. And we'll go ahead and mark you as in and out and move right along. Next on my list is Atlanta 228. McCoy in Cedartown. McCoy is in and out, so thank you, McCoy, for checking in. We'll move on next to Atlanta 106, Mark in Dallas. Also in and out, so thank you, Mark, for checking in with us this evening. And we'll move on to Atlanta 583, Julie in Talking Rock. Julie was in and out with us this evening, but it was great to hear from you, Julie. Look forward to catching up with you again real soon. And next on my list is Atlanta 555, Dave in Marietta. Dave, what's on the grill in the driveway tonight?
Oh, Justin, you caught me. We did take out Chinese tonight. So, yeah, took the easy way out. Sorry.
Well, that's perfect because we're talking about armchair philosophy, and Chinese takeout always comes with the best of armchair philosophy.
So, I don't have a lot, although you said about songs and song lyrics, and three came to mind real quick. On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair.
Oh, yeah.
Warm smell of colitas rising up to the air. If you're from the West Coast, you know what that is. And every time I hear that song, it reminds me of driving down the PCH with the windows down in the evening, looking at the Pacific Ocean. So that one is probably my favorite. The second one would be, let me break. Highway run into the midnight sun, wheels go round and round. You're on my mind, restless heart. Sleep alone tonight, sending all my love along the wire.
Journey.
That's a great one if you like Journey. And I tell you, the last one I can think of, which I like a lot, I'll tell you who this is, Leonard Cohen, Hallelujah. You think about
yes.
His opening lyric. Now I've heard that there was a secret chord that David played, and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do you? I love those lyrics. Back to you, Justin.
Those are definitely three great pieces. And, Journey is one of those, ballad bands that we overlook a lot of times. But there is some fantastic musicianship and some great songwriting that came from Neil Schon and Steve Perry and those guys. And, yes, I very much enjoy that band. And, of course, the Eagles, I mean, holy cow, that is like the standard bar of great rock music writing. And Hallelujah is one that I don't listen to it much, but when you do sit and listen to the story that's being told, it is a piece that is worthy of some pondering and some thought. So and that's one thing that I love about a song is when there's more to it than just what's on the surface, which I think if people go back and listen to Journey and listen really to what's being written and what's being told, it's more than just a ballad band, and it's good stuff. Thanks, Dave. That's great contribution for the evening. Appreciate that. And next on my list, I have Atlanta 516 Ray in Canton. Ray, do you have anything to add for the evening? Do you have any armchair philosophy you'd like to hand out?
That I'm new to Georgia and I'm retired. I've just been, running around doing research and exploring, getting myself lost and finding my way back.
Yeah.
And, just enjoying myself. What a beautiful area this is.
Well, that's indeed, Ray, and you are lucky to be where you are, in my opinion, because you are so close to the mountains. You can, in minutes, you can be in the mountains and you can be enjoying some of the many things that there are to do in the North Georgia mountains. So many treasures and great ways to spend time up that way, and yet you're still within reach of anything that you might want to do in a city, and the Canton area is, you've got everything you could want in terms of stores and shopping and stuff right there within reach. So you're not missing anything. You got the best of suburban life and easy access to the North Georgia mountains. So it's a great place to be. That's one of the things I love about Woodstock is whatever I want, it's within reach, and it's reasonable to get to just about anywhere. So good stuff. Well, welcome to Georgia, Ray, and I hope that you're gonna find that this is the place that you'll make your permanent home. We'll catch up with you some more next week. Next on my list, I have Atlanta 420 William in Roswell. William has discovered a local car audio installer that is also very good at installing radio equipment. So we'll ask William about that here in a moment. But first, let's find out if William has any song lyrics or movie quotes or armchair philosophy he'd like to share.
Roger that, Justin. I got a little armchair philosophy I guess Washington and Israel should remember there. It was by a warrior of the Zulu tribe that once said, "Never leave an enemy behind, for it will rise again to come at your throat." Maybe they'll finally learn, instead of extending the olive branch over and over, they can't keep doing it and expecting different results there. But, yeah, we'd like to think peace is possible there. For the car audio installs there, the phone number there is 770-998-8232. And if you tell them that you're a North Georgia GMRS member, they'll try to get you in as quickly as possible with a day and time that you can come in for an appointment for an install. And they're really good guys, and just tell them what kind of equipment you got, and they'll give you a quote there. So that's about it for me there. Over.
All right. And William had a radio installed on a motorcycle, so I'm curious to see how that turned out, and looking forward to seeing a post with some pictures. So when he has the opportunity to do that, we'll all have an opportunity to see. Maybe you can include that phone number in that post, William. And so folks that are looking for a professional install of some radio equipment, that's a good way to go, because many of us don't have the means or the aptitude to do that kind of work, and so it can be a tremendous value to be able to just have someone handle that for us. So good stuff, and thanks for that report, William. Next on my list is McDonough 22, Tim in Stockbridge. Tim is probably the only one that caught my joke there. But Tim, do you have any armchair philosophy or words of wisdom, movie quotes, or song lyrics you'd like to share this evening?
Well, I don't know
about words of wisdom unless one of the song lyrics that I was going to mention that for us older folks, the words of wisdom in the old song Jack and Diane. Oh yeah, life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. So you sing that and don't really pay attention to it until you get a little bit older in life, and then you start realizing the words of wisdom in that little song there. But that the movie quotes, a couple that stuck in my mind. Of course, the great John Wayne, as you mentioned. The movie True Grit, which I saw when it was first showed up in the theaters. I watched it in a theater in Buckhead, if I recall. And one of the final face-offs there at the towards the end of the movie, and when they really don't get their negotiations going the way they want, and he said, Cogburn says, "Fill your hands, you sons of a please." And so that was pretty cool. And then a line from the movie Fried Green Tomatoes, "The secret's in the sauce," and that stuck with me. And you have to watch that movie and know what was in that barbecue to realize what that little line means there. Secret's in the sauce. Back to you, Net Control.
The secret's always in the sauce. And, I think probably my favorite John Wayne movie was Cowboys. And but True Grit was definitely an excellent movie. And I don't have a lot of regard for the remake of it. It's one of those movies that it didn't need to be reinterpreted. It was excellent first time around. But yes, Jack and Diane, that is also a great story, and of course Mellencamp was the inspiration for the evening here. I do things my way, and I pay a high price. And I can story after story after story. I can identify points where because I didn't want to pay somebody else to do something that I felt like I could do, I would take on a project and end up spending way more money. That's not really what that lyric means, but in that kind of a sense that the physical pay a high price. By golly, sometimes you can do the work yourself and save a lot of money, and sometimes you do the work yourself and you pay someone else to fix it, or you pay to have the work done again because you're not a pro at it, and should have got somebody that knew what they were doing to begin with. But that rarely ever stops me. But excellent stuff, and yes, that's what the evening's all about, is these little bits of philosophy that we pick up along the way, and how they can affect us. Next on my list, I have Atlanta 253, Donald in Blairsville. Donald, do you have any words of wisdom you'd like to share with the group?
Good evening, Justin, and good evening to the rest of the net. No words of wisdom, though.
All right. Well, no words of wisdom, but let me ask, what are your travel plans? Where's the next place that you're going to be looking for hot water?
Me and Mother were talking about going back there in August or September.
Well, August isn't that far away, but I'm pretty sure you'll find yourself in hot water well before August gets here.
I might get in hot water this weekend because we're having company up here.
Well, fantastic. Well, I hope that you enjoy it, and for folks that don't know, Donald very much enjoys hot tubs, whether it's at home or whether he's traveling. He seems to have a knack for finding hot water. So some of us get into hot water and it means something altogether different. But for Donald, getting into hot water means exactly that. He's going to get into the hot tub and relax. So excellent stuff, Donald. Appreciate your comments this evening. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and move on. Next on my list is Atlanta 402. Todd incoming. Todd, if you're still listening, thanks for checking in tonight. It's great to hear from you. I appreciate that very much. That brings me next to Atlanta 417, William in Auburn. William, do you have any words of wisdom or armchair philosophy you'd like to share with us this evening? With us? With?
No words of wisdom. We'd like to know how this radio sounds. And I agree with what you said a while ago about a wife that do that, and then you end up costing you more than what it should. And that brings me to a thing, I think it was Clint Eastwood that said, a man's got to know his limitations.
Oh, that is a great line, and that is so very true. A man's got to know his limitations. Yes. William, your radio sounds good. I'm getting a little bit of white noise in with you, but you've got a solid carrier, and you've got good audio. So I think you might be able to modulate through some of that noise, but you know, in all reality, there's no reason to change any of it. I think that you're doing just fine there. So good stuff. Your man's got to know his limitations. That's a little piece of advice that I should probably pay a little more attention to. Good stuff. I appreciate that. Next on my list is Atlanta 295, Scott in Dallas. Scott is on a date night this evening with Miss Debbie, and I hope that they have a fantastic evening. And that brings me next to Atlanta 285, CV Smith in Murrayville, in and out with us this evening. Thank you, CV. And also by relay, Atlanta 286, Lynn in Murrayville, in and out this evening. CV and Lynn, I hope you have a terrific evening. That brings me next to Atlanta 739, Glenn in Canton. Glenn, do you have any words of wisdom, armchair philosophy, lyrics, or movie quotes you'd like to share?
I don't think I have any movie quotes right off, but I did always like this one quote. I'm going to pull it up here and read it. It's John Ruskin's, and it's talking about value. There is hardly anything in the world that someone cannot make a little worse and sell a little cheaper. And the people who consider price alone are that person's lawful prey. So I just think instead of price shopping, find what you want and then find the cheapest way to buy what you want. If you want a black truck and a purple one's $500 cheaper, you'll much more easily forget about that $500 in about 2 weeks, but you'll have to live with that purple truck for years. So that's my advice.
Yeah, because it's going to cost a lot more than $500 to make it not purple anymore. That's you know, and that's an interesting point too, because there's a lot of truth there. So many times we look for that cheaper product and we forget about value, because in a lot of cases when you buy that cheaper product, it's a use it once, and now it doesn't have any value, or it has very little value. Whereas if we invest in our tools, in our equipment, in our time, and our products, and things around us that we use, we can have a much greater value from those items for a much greater time. So this is a valid point that Glenn's making, and I very much appreciate that. I don't always follow it, and there's been plenty of times that I've seen value the other way. Like, for instance, I had a project years ago where I needed a hammer drill, and I could rent a hammer drill or I could buy a hammer drill, and a good Milwaukee hammer drill would have been around $350. And to rent one would have been around 40 or 50 bucks. But I was able to buy one at Harbor Freight and complete the project with that $35, maybe it was 30 bucks, I don't know, it's been a long time ago. I was able to complete the project with that tool, and I still have that tool today. Now, I don't use a hammer drill very often. I think I've used it maybe 3 or 4 or 5 times since then. But I kept it in a box, and I've kept it in you know, fairly decent shape, and haven't broken it yet. So, if I used a hammer drill for a living, that $35 tool wouldn't have been of any value at all. It would have been worthless. But so sometimes there is a value looking the other way, but it's just something that you got to kind of pick and choose, because I could just as easily have bought that $35 tool and it failed immediately, and then I would have been back to wasting time and going to have to rent one anyway. So things to consider and ponder. Next on my list, I have Atlanta 401, Dave in Canton. Dave, do you have any movie quotes or lyrics or words of wisdom for the group?
Favorite, most underrated bands out there, Crash Test Dummies. Someday I'll have a disappearing hairline. Someday I'll wear pajamas in the daytime. Afternoons will be measured out and measured with coffee spoons and T.S. Eliot. It's a great song. If you really want to listen to some good stuff, just go pick up some Crash Test Dummy songs and just give them a listen. I promise you'll like them. But that's about all I got.
Well, if T.S. Eliot is a point of reference, I probably would like it. So, yeah, I'll have to do that. I'll make a little note here to go look for some Crash Test Dummies on YouTube and give that a listen after the net. But good stuff. All right. Well, then, do you have anything else for us? I'm stalling so that I can write this down.
Living the dream. That's all.
All right. Well, I had to stall there for a moment, so thank you for that. All right, Dave. Well, I will. I've got a little note scribbled down here, and I'll dig into that here this evening. Next on my list, I have Atlanta 252, Shad in Emerson. Shad, you might have been in and out with me this evening, but didn't mark it that way. So let me see if you're still hanging out there with us. And if you are, do you have any comments for the net with regard to armchair philosophy or music quotes or movie quotes?
Well, 252. Yes, I'm still here. If you're true, you never be alone.
That was, if you're true, you'll never be alone. Is that what I heard you say?
Yes, sir.
Copy that. Well, that is one of those universal truths, I guess, that you can't hardly argue with. If you're true, you'll never be alone. And the alternative is probably equally true. So that's also something to consider. You may never have a circle of true friends if you can't be honest with people. So yeah, I like it. Well, hey, since I've got you right there, and I know that you're on Zello, and that can be its own challenge, I'm going to go ahead and ask you to put Cynthia on and see if Cynthia has anything to say with regard to movie quotes or song lyrics or that sort of thing for the evening.
Well, this is Cynthia. I am a huge movie and music fan. Have to have music in my life every day.
I like it.
But the life of me, I can't think of anything. But as a carry on wisdom, I grew up learning if there's a will, there's a way.
Well, that's a hard one to argue because, I mean, so many times we come up with a challenge of, hey, you can't do that, and hey, watch me. And that's something that we joke about around here. Back in my truck driving days, one of the things that I used to enjoy, I started off as a bed bugger, household moving, and that was horrible work. It's very, very unrewarding work. It's challenging. People are stressed out. They're stressed out when you pick up their stuff to pack it. They're stressed out when you deliver their stuff. Invariably, something is messed up in some way. No matter how hard you try, you have people that are there working for you, and somebody will break or mess up or destroy something. It just happens. So household moving is its own challenge. But then I moved into dry van blanket wrap freight, and so that brings a new set of challenges where a lot of these things are big. The big equipment racks, big pieces of furniture, big stuff. And so I learned a lot of techniques and a lot of ways of moving large, heavy objects by myself. And so one of the things that I learned is never pick anything up. Always find a lever, always find leverage, but never pick something up and bear its entire weight yourself. There's always a way that you can move things without having to carry its entire weight. So, there you go. If there's a will, there's a way. And when it comes to moving big, heavy things, I can do it. And generally, I can do it by myself. If I need help, usually what I need is somebody to make sure that, when I move something, that I don't bash it into the door frame or things like that. I don't necessarily need somebody to put hands on it. I just need somebody to help protect the things that are around it. So good stuff, Cynthia. That's a great point. If there's a will, there's a way. So thank you for that. Appreciate your comments. Next on my list, I have Atlanta 32 Chris in Salt Lake City, also someone who is moving big things. He's moving those big old 53-foot trailers around the country, delivering products to warehouses and stores all around us. Thank you for your service there, Chris. I appreciate you checking in with us this evening. And that brings me next to Atlanta 740, Giselle in Canton. Giselle, do you have any words of wisdom, armchair philosophy, or movie quotes or song lyrics for us?
I have one that actually, part of it I came up with this morning as I was driving to a meeting. There was this guy playing on the radio, Chuck Mangione. Well, he has a song that he plays that is called Give It All You Got. And when I got to where I was going, I just stood in the car for a little bit. And I was just thinking that in life we have three choices. Either we give up or we give in, or we give it all we got. And that just stuck into my mind the whole day. We have choices, like we just go full force with everything, or we just give up. I think that was
Yes, what a great theme. Give it all you've got. And you're right. There's so many times we come up across circumstances where you have that choice. You have the take it or leave it, the press on or move back, or like you say, give it all you got. And you don't know what your success is going to be if you don't put some effort into it. I think one of the basketball giants said, you miss every shot that you don't take. So yeah, give it all you got. And you don't know how far that'll get you until you apply yourself and make it happen. So good stuff. Giselle, thank you so much for that. I appreciate your comments this evening. Next on my list, I have Atlanta 503, Paul in Jefferson. Paul is in and out with us this evening. Thank you, Paul, for checking in. It's great to hear from you. And that brings me to, where am I at here? Chattanooga 84. Jim in Chattanooga. Jim, do you have any armchair philosophy or words of wisdom for us this evening?
Fortunately, no. But I grew up I was born in the early 60s and grew up in the 70s, obviously, as a teenager in high school. And, listened to a lot of rock and roll, and obviously there was a lot of, can't remember, my brain just went dead. Disco music, yeah, there you go. But bands, I heard somebody say Eagles, that was a big one. Boston, Ted Nugent, mean, I wasn't a hard rock person, but there was, I mean, obviously there was a lot of rock and roll during that time, so I listened to that a lot.
Yes, and all of those, genres, have elements to them that can connect to us and move us in ways, whether it's the music or the words. Um, you know, Sometimes it's just the beat of the music that gets your body moving and offers inspiration that way, and that is definitely a valid point. So, and yeah, I'm with you there. I listen to all kinds of music. I listen to a lot of rock and roll. If I had to declare a party, I would vote rock and roll. But I also listen to country music. I listen to jazz. I listen to soft rock, and I listen, to the ballads, Journey, and those kind of bands in Boston. Boston's later albums were just all ballads, and yeah, they're good. The earlier stuff was better, but it's all good stuff, and we get a lot out of it. And I do almost every day. I sit in here while I'm working, listening to music, and something will strike me, and just I just resonate with that word or that theme, and I do things my way, and I pay a high price. It has a lot of meanings, but good stuff. Thanks for that, Jim. Next on my list is Atlanta 780, Houston in Powder Springs. Houston, I think we got something going on this weekend, but before we talk about that, do you have any words of wisdom or inspirational quotes that you'd like to share?
Justin, the only thing I can think of is never put off till tomorrow what you can do today. And been something I've been trying to live by.
Well, yeah, and that's along with that is tomorrow isn't promised, and so you can find yourself in a situation where the thing that you intended just never comes to be. So it always is good to make progress every day and work towards your goals, however big or small they are. Well, that's good stuff. Never put off until tomorrow what you can do today. And we certainly should live by that. Houston, do you have anything going on this weekend?
I can't think of a thing, Justin. It just slips my mind. Maybe Wallace Barbecue. That sounds like a good idea to me. About 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon.
Well, I can't think of a time when barbecue is not a good idea. I think barbecue is an excellent idea all the time. And Saturday at 2 o'clock sounds like a great time to meet at Wallace Barbecue. And we'll see how many show up, and we'll have a great time. So, as I mentioned before, there's going to be some prizes. And originally what I had in mind for prizes was I've got a few bumper stickers and I got a couple of magnets. I don't have any hats. I would like to have gotten some hats, but our hat lady is I don't know what the story is there, but the hats are no more from our hat lady. So we have in the works a new source for that kind of stuff, but nothing is ready yet, so there won't be any hats. But there may be some other very cool prizes. So I rather than me bringing bumper stickers, which I might still bring a few, and that sort of thing, Gary's going to bring the prizes, and his prizes are way cooler than my prizes. So he's also going to be there to talk with us and tell us a little bit about what's going on and answer questions. So if you have questions, you might want to make a note and bring it with you, and remember to ask the question while he's there. Is there anything else that you can think of, Houston?
Well, there was going to be 2 handheld radios to be given away too, but they were on the table. when the fire started, so I don't know. I don't think they made it, but if I can get back over there tomorrow, if anything on the backside, I'll take a look. And, we may still have a radio or two to hand out.
Well, that's fine if you want to do that, but don't worry too much about that, Houston. I think we're in good shape in the prizes department, so we'll if you're able to recover those radios, maybe hang on to them for a coming event, and let's just go ahead and let us take care of that sort of stuff this time around, and we'll see where things stand once you get back on your feet. But that's excellent stuff. Looking forward to visiting with you and Mona on Saturday. I just want to say thanks for sticking in there with us through all that you've got going on, and really appreciate that. And holy cow, this is the first time that this group has had the opportunity to gather in over a year. And that's big stuff. So I know everybody can't be there. I know it's graduation season, and some folks are going to be, with family at graduation events and that sort of thing. And family comes first. Absolutely, it does. And don't worry, because we're going to have other events. I don't know what they are yet, but we're going to keep doing these sorts of things throughout the year. And so if you're not able to attend this one, hopefully you'll be able to attend whatever the next one is. So once again, thanks Houston and Mona for hosting us at Wallace Barbecue this weekend at Saturday at 2 o'clock. Next on my list, I have Atlanta 550 Steve in Talking Rock. Steve is in and out with us this evening, but thanks Steve for checking in tonight. It's great to hear from you. And that brings me next to Atlanta 434 Ron incoming. Ron, do you have any words of wisdom or armchair philosophy or music quotes you'd like to share with the group tonight?
Hey there, Net Control. Yeah, I have a couple of things, actually, I'd like to say. But one of the things is a quote from Albert Einstein that I completely forgot about until you brought this up on the net tonight. And it also kind of resonates with current events happening in the Southeast, and his quote is, two things are infinite, the universe and human stupidity. And I'm not sure about the universe. That's a great one, Albert Einstein. Another thing I'd like to say is kind of the way I live my life is I live for today, and I want to take this as advice if you'd like, but I live for today. I don't worry about the past, and I don't worry about the future. The past is in the past because it's the past. The future is unpredictable, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's going to happen the way it happens. But today, I have control over today, so I'm going to live today like it's the best day ever. And another thing is tomorrow's not guaranteed. So tell your friends you love them. Tell your family you love them. Hug everybody, and live for today.
Ron, that is great stuff, and you're right in so many ways. Tomorrow is not guaranteed, and I got to tell you, years ago, even before I moved to Georgia, I have a very, very good friend of mine who's about 12 or 13 years older than I am, and we've been in various business adventures together. I did mean adventures. They weren't really business ventures. They were more of an adventure. And many, many stories to come from the things that we've done trying to earn a dollar. And well, let me just share one of them from you. We began experimenting with recovering gold. We were buying and acquiring old computers and old electronics and connectors that had gold on the connectors, and we had purchased chemicals, and we had this this booth that we had set up where we could dissolve the metals into a solution, and then use other chemicals to separate out the gold and the other metals. And so we had spent a significant amount of money on materials and equipment and tools and product to begin extracting gold from this stuff. And I tell you, the process is time consuming. It's dangerous. There are nasty, nasty chemicals involved. Stuff that probably might not kill you today, but would like make your lungs quit 10 years earlier than they ought to. Just dangerous stuff. And so we got to working it out after we had produced our first little batch of gold. And we calculated that based on what we'd invested so far and the material that we'd processed, that we were working at right around $20,000 an ounce is what it was going to cost us to make gold. So that's the reason we stopped making it. It just was a lot of work and a lot of chemicals and a lot of danger for very, very little return. Now, had we scaled things up, of course, those numbers would have changed. But but live for today is good stuff. And because tomorrow isn't promised, and we can't change the past, and we can't control the future. And in light of current events, there's been conversations around here, concern about inflation and concern about grocery costs and fuel costs, and what these things are going to be in the days and weeks and months and even years ahead. We have a project that we'd like to complete that's going to require a lot of lumber, and lumber prices have tripled in the last several weeks. Literally tripled. And so this project that we've been talking about is absolutely not going to happen in light of lumber prices being what they are. If the lumber prices come back down, we may go ahead and proceed. Or if enough time goes by that inflation catches up and that seems like what is a reasonable price, then maybe in a year or two we'll go ahead and proceed with the project. But we can't really control what tomorrow's prices are going to be. We just have to ride along and see what it is and make decisions when that day comes. So we can live for today, and when tomorrow gets here, we can live for today again when it's here. But we can't really control what tomorrow's going to bring. So good stuff, Ron. That's great points. Next on my list, I have Atlanta 172, Greg in Bremen. Greg is in and out with us this evening, but I bet he's still listening in. So thanks, Greg, for hanging out with us. Hope that you're enjoying tonight's material. And that brings me to Atlanta 538, Rob incoming. Rob, do you have any comments for the net? Any armchair philosophy, words of wisdom, or quotes? Atlanta 538. Rob incoming. Are you still with us? All right. Rob must have been in and out with us this evening, and I just failed to mark that. I've got him marked as in and out now, and we'll go ahead and move on to Atlanta 104, David in Rockmart. David is also in and out with us this evening. So, David, thank you for that check-in. It brings me next to Chattanooga 5-5. Doug in Chattanooga had to leave early and get ready for bed so that you can get up and go to work tomorrow. So thanks, Doug, for checking in with us tonight. Great to hear from you. And that brings me next to Atlanta 124. I believe it is Hank in Marietta. Hank was in and out with us this evening. Thank you so much for checking in. It's great to hear from you. Look forward to catching up with you again soon. And that brings me next to our early morning radio check guy. Hear him many times in the morning calling out. Atlanta 114, Yusuf in Duluth. Yusuf, do you have any words of wisdom or armchair philosophy or music or movie quotes you'd like to share? Atlanta 114, Yusuf, are you with us? Yeah, okay, so Atlanta 114 must have been in and out as well. So I've marked him that way in the log, and we'll just see if he comes back later on. That brings me next to Atlanta 344, Damon in Murrayville. Damon, thank you for checking in and out with us this evening. It's great to hear from you. And that will bring me next to Atlanta 292, Derek in Rockmart. Derek, do you have any words of wisdom or armchair philosophy you'd like to share with the group tonight? Okay, once again, I'm going to assume that Derek was in and out with us this evening and mark him as such. And move on to Atlanta 57, Andrew in Holly Springs. Andrew, what have you got for us this evening?
Good evening, Justin, and everyone in the net. Actually, if I guess I had to go with, a song quote, it would be by Baz Luhrmann from the song "Everyone Is Free" or "Everybody's Free." I think there's a couple different versions of it, and there's a whole bunch of good stuff in that song. Came out around my high school graduation, but one of my favorite parts is be careful whose advice you buy, but be patient with those who supply it. That's something that has resounded with me. Again, that song has a lot of different quotes in it as well that are very inspiring and things to live by. But that's definitely one thing that I've tried to adhere to. Obviously you can't take everyone's advice and live by it, but you definitely don't want to discourage people from giving it to you because you never know what you might be able to take from that and apply it to your every day-to-day. So I can't say that I 100% live by it, but it definitely pops in my head from time to time, especially when people are trying to give me advice on things to do.
Well, that just brings to mind, there's no end of trouble you'll find yourself in if you follow my advice. So there's that. But be patient with those who are offering advice. I think is a very wise statement because, and you're right. Not everything that you hear is necessarily what you should do. But at the same time, bits and pieces from all of that can be useful to you. I have a buddy that has frustrated me for years. One of those good friends that you've known for a very long time, and you know that you could count on for anything that you need, but he will invariably ask for advice and then go on as though he's never heard it. And I can't think of a single time. There probably has been, but I can't think of a single time where he's ever done, the things that we've counseled him on or that we've talked to him about. And that's the way it goes. He's got to hear it from his friends beyond me, and then he's got to discern what's right for him. And that's hard sometimes to let go of. But good stuff, Andrew. Appreciate your comments. Hope all is well with you. I know that you're busy at work. How's the family over there? Club 215.
We're doing real good over here. And yes, you're right. Work has been absolutely insane. Thought we were going to catch a little bit of a break with the, perceived gas shortage or the man-made gas shortage, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, but yes, we have been blown out the doors. Seems like a year ago now, everyone was busting down the doors at the doctor's office and couldn't get in over there. And now they're realizing they haven't had their car in for about a year or so, and now they're busting down our doors. So I'm not going to complain at the very moment, though, because you never know when that might go away. So we're going to appreciate that and absorb it while we can. And, yes, family is doing well. Everyone over here at Club 215.
Fantastic stuff. And, yes, I dropped my truck off this evening or this afternoon at a shop for just for an oil change, and the service writer said, I can't do it. I can't do it. I said, what do you mean you can't do it? He says, there's no way I can get it done today. I said, I don't need it today. I'm going to drop it off with you. You just let me know when it's ready. And he says, well, it'll probably be sometime tomorrow afternoon. I said, well, Saturday's good too. I said, I imagine you don't want it sitting around here any longer than it needs to be. Just let me know when it's ready. I'll come get it. And so he appreciated that, having that flexibility. But he's slammed. I think they're all slammed. And so you're right. People, I think, let it go and weren't paying attention. I've been watching my mileage because I don't put very many miles on, and wanted to be sure I didn't really get too far out of whack and exceed that. And it just so happens that my 3,000 miles is coming in right at about my 3-month period. So that works out. But glad to hear the family's doing well over there, and that work is going good. So busy is good. Slow is probably good once in a while, but you don't want too much of that. So great to hear from you, Andrew. And yes, not all advice is good advice, but yeah. Next on my list is Atlanta 948. Gary, right here in Woodstock. Gary is in and out with us this evening. So I'll say thanks, Gary, for checking in, and we'll move on to Atlanta 138. Robert in Auburn at band practice for another 20 minutes or so. Robert may come back with us after practice. We'll just have to see. But hope that goes well. Thanks for checking in, Robert. Next on my list is Atlanta 520, Mark in Alaj. Mark, I hope you and the family are doing well up there. And Mark, do you have any words of wisdom or armchair philosophy you'd like to share?
Sure, thank you, and appreciate the opportunity. When you introduced this evening's topic, two things kind of came to mind, and although these two subjects have been hit on a bit, I'll go ahead and share what first came to mind. And the first, it's not from a movie or from a song. It was something I picked up from Richard Bach years ago, and used it with my kids almost daily, it seemed, when they were growing up, the older kids. And it was, if you argue for your limitations, they are yours. And so every time one of them would say, I can't do that, or it's too hard, or I'll never be able to do this or that, I would just re-mention that quote. If you don't try, you'll never know where your limitations really are. At least give it a shot first. And the second thing that I just wanted to share real quick was from that sage philosopher, Rocky Balboa. I think it was from maybe his latest movie, or the last movie he made, but it was a point that really struck home, and it was, and I'm paraphrasing, I won't get the quote right, but it was along the lines of, it's not about getting knocked down. Everybody gets knocked down. It's the getting back up that really defines your character. And that really hit home. All of us take gut shots over the course of life, and it's easy to just lay down and complain and be the victim. But I think what really defines us is when we find that within ourselves that allows us to rise up, stand against it, and keep going back and trying to do the right thing. So those are the two things that struck me. I thought I'd share them, and thank you very much. There's been some wonderful wisdom shared on this discussion this evening, and I'm just very happy to be a part of it. So thank you.
Well, that's good stuff, Mark. And yes, we don't want to own limitations. We can borrow them, but limitations are something that we need to just get past. Good stuff. And say hello to Bailey. And let me see if I'm saying this right, because this is a tough one for me. It's tougher than it should be, but is it Xiaoxing?
It's very close. Xiaoxing.
Xiaoxing.
Yeah, Bailey's working in the garden this evening. She's run in and out a couple of times, hoping there might be a gap to check in, but I think she's back outside again now. And Xiaoxing, I believe, is in the shower. So, but both of them have been checking in and listening this evening. So your pronunciation's pretty close. We'll get it. We'll just keep chipping away at it each week. So thank you.
Excellent stuff. Well, I'll tell you, Mark, the next time Bailey comes in, if she wants to get in, just as soon as you can get me to be quiet for a moment, have her jump in here. We got about 5 or 6 more to go before we get to the end. So hopefully we can get her in here, and if not, we'll catch up with her again real soon. Next on my list is Atlanta. I'm sorry, we just talked with Mark and LJ. Next on my list is Newton 29, Marty in Tyrone. Marty, do you have any armchair philosophy to share with the group?
Oh my goodness. That's a can of worms. I don't even want to think about opening that one up. I've been hearing some really great accounts, stories, and philosophy, and principles, and all kinds of great stuff here tonight, Justin. And I'd like to thank everybody for their contributions as well. A lot of good insight on top of that. Let me read that here. One of the biggest things I've encountered over life, and this is going to kind of come as a simple sentence, but take it for what it's worth. Experience is what you get when you didn't get what you wanted. Now, you can also alternate that a little bit to experience is what you get right after you needed it the most. That's my philosophy. Now, as far as the movie quote goes, I don't really have, I have some really great movie quotes. My boy can eat 50 eggs. If you know that, you're older than dirt. But I was thinking more of a music quote, and there's a 2-meter. Music quote would actually be something a little bit different. And that's going to be the Bohemian Rhapsody from Queen. Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. That's my... I love that tune. And I think more than ever, those lyrics kind of fit the current events and situations we're looking at these days. Back to that from Newton 29.
Well, fantastic stuff. And yes, I've heard some great quotes this evening. And, I guess I've overlooked that line from the Bohemian Rhapsody, but it brings to mind a T-shirt that I saw Adam Savage from Mythbusters wear. And on the T-shirt it said, "I reject your reality and substitute my own." And I don't know what that means, but it's funny. But, I think that, is this just fantasy? Maybe we're all in a test tube. Maybe the Earth is flat. I don't know. But, seems like this is a legitimate reality to me. And I guess that's good enough. But, that's good stuff, Marty, and always fun. Very much enjoy your outlook on things. And I got to tell you, I think my favorite quote so far is the Einstein quote. I'm going to have to come back to that here in just a little bit, but that I think is our winner for the evening. But let's see if Atlanta 411 Robert in Flowery Branch has something to top that. All right, I have a feeling that both Robert in Flowery Branch and Josh in Cartersville were in and out with me this evening, but I'm going to go ahead and mark Robert as in and out, and we'll see what happens when I call out to Atlanta 242 Josh in Cartersville. Josh, are you hanging out with us this evening, or did you check in and out? Okay, I believe that's going to be it for us. So Atlanta 242, Josh is in and out with us this evening. Thank you, Robert and Josh, for checking in and hanging out with us for whatever portion you did. And that brings me to my last check-in, which is Atlanta 76, David in Duluth. David was indeed in and out with us this evening, so that's going to do it for my list. So at this time, I'm going to ask, because I didn't make a note of it. I should have. I should have made a lot of notes, and I didn't. I'm going to ask for the quote that came from Einstein. Who was that? Can you come back with that quickly?
Yeah, hey, Net Control. Justin, this is Atlanta 434, Ron from Cumming. That quote came back to my mind after seeing all the chaos going on in the South here this week.
Yes, and there has been some infinite stupidity indeed, and I tell you that video that I saw of people putting gasoline into shopping bags, just oh my golly, I hope that was fake. I hope that was just something that was staged for the photo and not somebody actually really intending to do that, but. Maybe they were, and I think Einstein was right. Not sure about the universe. So good stuff. All right. Well, thank you for that, Ron. I appreciate you coming back. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and open up the floor for any additional questions or comments and any late check-ins. Net Control standing by.
Control, this is WRCU 869 CW14, Steve in East Athens. No traffic for the net. I just want to say hello and good evening.
All right, Net Control acknowledging CW14 Steve in East Athens. Steve, before you sneak out of here, let me ask, are you planning on attending on Saturday?
I'm going to got CW15 David with me. Want to drag him up there, and we're definitely gonna go. Wouldn't miss it for anything.
That's fantastic to hear, and good stuff. Well, I'm very glad to hear that you and David are going to be there on Saturday, and I very much look forward to seeing you then. And it'll be good to give a handshake and a hug and see you guys once again after all of this time. So good stuff, Steve. I'm glad to know that you're going to make it. So thank you for checking in. I've got you in a log as in and out. And I'm going to go ahead and call out one more time for any additional late check-ins, or any questions or comments. The floor is open. Net Control standing by.
Make Donna 22 with an additional comment for the net when you're ready.
All right, McDonough 22, go ahead with your question or comment.
Hey, Justin, just listening to y'all talk about, the unpredictability of the future and everything brought to mind, not sure who it originated with, but a long time ago I heard a wise person say, in life, use wisely your power of choice. And looking back over the lifetime, it is extremely important to use wisely your power of choice because it can determine your future.
Well, that reminds me of a comment I've often made about how poor choices and bad decisions made me the man I am today.
Yep, exactly that. And looking back, there may be a few minor things I would change in life, and I have made some really bad decisions here and there in life for sure. But I'm not sure I would change any of them because they, as you say, they made me who I am today, and I'm not sure I'd want to be anybody else.
Well, and that's kind of the point in that is that we've made mistakes along the way, but those mistakes are how we become who we are, and how we that's character. That's the stuff that makes us better than we were before we encountered whatever that challenge was, or what that decision was. We make the mistake and we learn from, or we don't. But either way, we become who we are because of, in spite of, and throughout, and that's good stuff. Live for the day. That's I think are some of the highlights of the evening. So thank you for your comments. Do you have anything else?
No, Justin, I guess that was it. Appreciate you giving me the opportunity. Good evening, Net Control. I'll turn it back to you.
All right. Well, good stuff, and I had a great time this evening, and lots of great comments, lots of great ideas, and philosophy this evening. And one of the things that I'm most impressed with at this point in the evening is the fact that we have 44 check-ins tonight. That's a huge number. And because of our early check-ins, and we had a massive number of early check-ins. I think we had 32 before we even started the net. Because we had so many early check-ins, we're done, and it's not even 9 o'clock yet. So that's fantastic stuff. I really appreciate both of those things. We had 44 check-ins tonight, and we're wrapping this thing up a little bit earlier than we have in some of the recent nets that have gone long. So thank you, everyone, for your participation this evening. With that, I'm going to go ahead and conclude the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. As I said, we had a total of 44 check-ins, including myself. Net Control will now be returning the repeaters to normal use. Everyone who signed in should sign out. Thank you for allowing me to serve as your Net Control this evening. Good night, everyone. This is Atlanta 946, WQIR 514. Justin, and I'm clear.
This is 253 WQNB 274 clear.
All right. Well, what a fantastic net, and some great content, some great ideas, great philosophies.
Government does voice print matching and facial recognition and fingerprint matching and DNA matching and everything else. WRCU 796. They know who I am.
I love it. I love it.
This is Atlanta 420 WRFS 771. We'll call it a night and signing out here. Wonderful net tonight there, guys. You did a fantastic job. I guess we can all remember that when it comes to learning, some people can learn from other people's mistakes, but then some people have to be the other people. That's always a good motto there as well.
Yep.
Good night, everyone.
I do like other people's mistakes, but sometimes I have to try them out for myself.
7 WQZC 82. I'm clear. Good night, everyone.
This is Atlanta 520 WRKM 715 clear. Thank you.
Atlanta 434 WRKR 284. Awesome net tonight. I'm clear. Atlanta 228 WRKZ 366. Clear and monitoring.
All right. Well, with that, I'm going to go ahead and hit that button there so you can't see me slide over here to press the buttons that I need to put an end to this nonsense. But folks, thanks so much for hanging out with me this evening. It was great to have you along. My name is Justin. I'm with North Georgia GMRS, and what a blast this is. I hope that you, if you're not a licensed GMRS user, I hope that you'll think about becoming one and join our Facebook page. If you have questions about GMRS, that's a great place to go to get lots of answers. You can ask any question you like. If you think it's a dumb question, I guarantee you our folks will answer your question with sincerity and helpfulness, and we will do our best to get you whatever information you seek to become a GMRS user. So please come to our Facebook page, and hope to have you engaged in GMRS. If this is something that interests you even a little bit, we have a great time, and we do this every week. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and clear, and thank all of you for participating this evening. Atlanta 946 WQIR 514, Justin, and I'm clear.